Diagram for the reproductive system, particularly for the reproductive outline 3, all through this section, the hormonal control of the female reproductive system. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start off with, there's 3 stages here. There's an early follicular stage. As we recall, there was a follicular stage, and then there was an ovulation stage, and then there was a lacteal stage. Okay, so you can think of this stage as the day 0 through day 7. Just as an example, the late follicular stage, you can think about it from day 7 to day 14, and then the lacteal phase. Okay, let's make this a little bit simple. So now, if we have a let's say we have an increasing level of LH. LH, as you can recall, is it's the messenger. It tells the body to, hey, make some estrogen and also go through ovulation. And then FSH, as it goes up, it tells the body to, hey, you know what, make an egg. Okay, and then this is occurring in the anterior pituitary. And then when it reaches the ovaries basically have the follicular cells, which produce sex hormones. The follicular cells is just like a broad term. You could think back of the central nervous system of glial cells. That's a broad term. There's like 4 to 5 glial cells, like the astrocyte, and so on. This is another example of that. Follicular cells is just a broad term. The subtypes are the theca cells, which produce androgen, and then the granulosa cells basically convert the androgens to estrogen. Okay, so we have low to moderate levels of estrogen that rise. This goes on to be the proliferation phase. Excuse my accent. So this is the uterine cycle. As you recall from my past video, that the endometrium has a proliferation phase, which basically regenerates the endometrium with blood vessels, because you don't want to stay, because this is the sloughing off. You don't want to stay in this area. You want it to be, regenerated. So you can think of this sunflower here, the pink, as the proliferation stage, basically, and some other factors there. Okay, moving on to the late follicular stage. I guess going back here for a second, the birth control is another example of low to moderate estrogen levels. So we have low to moderate estrogen levels, then we inhibit FSH, and we also inhibit LH. FSH, we are going to inhibit the body. These are the messengers that tell the body, hey, if we inhibit it, then do not make an egg. And if we inhibit LH, luteinizing hormone, then we're going to inhibit the body from telling it to make more estrogen and do not go through ovulation, basically. Okay, but if we move from low to moderate estrogen levels to really high estrogen levels, like for example the late follicular stage, then what happens is that it actually stimulates the FSH and LH. So it stimulates these guys, the messengers, if a person has really high estrogen levels. So it will stimulate, and basically the messengers will tell the body, the FSH will tell the body, hey, make an egg. The LH will tell the body, hey, make estrogen and get prepared to go through ovulation. Okay? So the LH surge will trigger the ovulation. Let's go back for a second. The ovulation is just basically, to sum up, is basically when the egg bursts through the ovary and then goes to the uterine tube. Okay, so ovulation, the egg bursts through the ovary and goes into the uterine tube. This is the positive feedback. It prepares the reproductive tract for ovulation and sperm entry. Okay, going down to the luteal phase. After ovulation, after the egg bursts through the ovary into the uterine tube, the corpus luteum secretes estrogen and some progesterone. So this is some. And just recall that if we do some estrogen or some progesterone, then it'll act kind of like a birth control. It'll tell the body to not make an egg and to not produce estrogen and do not go through ovulation. So the corpus luteum, you could think about it like a, birth control tablet maybe. Just my thoughts. So if we are increasing the progesterone, then this stimulates the secretory phase, which prepares the uterus for pregnancy. So the secretory phase, we go back to the uterine cycle. The endometrium secretory occurs when there's estrogen and others being secreted, and then this is the thickest area. Okay, so now going here, if we have a semi-increase in these hormones, then low to moderate levels, remember low to moderate levels, then we will inhibit the FSH, will inhibit the body, will via the messengers to not make an egg and to not produce estrogen and to not go through ovulation. Ovulation again, the egg will not burst through the ovary and go into the uterine tube because there's no egg to go through without the FSH because there is already one there. So, but the corpus luteum can only last for so long. We'll have this sunflower again here. It can either go through fertilization, which is this one, or it can either go to no fertilization, which is this one. Okay. No fertilization, the corpus luteum will degenerate and the estrogen and progesterone will decrease, which equal menstruation. So if we have no, let's just say we have no estrogen, then menstruation will occur, okay, which is the sloughing off of the endometrium or the menstrual period. If we have low to moderate levels, then we will inhibit the body from making an egg, and will inhibit the body from making estrogen and going through ovulation. If we have excessive estrogen levels, then we will tell the body to make an egg and to make more estrogen and to make more to go through ovulation. And I guess it can make is an incorrect word. The messengers will tell the ovaries to do this. These are just the messengers. They're hormones, so they do not make. They only send the message out to the body. Okay, so if it goes through fertilization, again, the corpus luteum can only last for so long. So if it goes through fertilization, it turns into a zygote, and then a blastocyte, which is about 100 cells. It gets implanted. The embryo gets implanted, and it secretes HCG, the human chorionic gonadotropin. It basically rescues the corpus luteum by having low to moderate secretions of estrogen and progesterone, and then what takes over is the placenta, which continues on with low to moderate secretions of estrogen and progesterone. So if fertilization occurs, we want low to moderate estrogen and progesterone, because low to moderate, for example, estrogen levels, there's an egg implanted. So we want to protect it with everything we can. For example, the placenta, the corpus luteum, through the proliferation phase, which is the increase of blood vessels and thickening. We want that. So we want low to moderate estrogen levels to inhibit a new egg to come in and to inhibit the LH, the making of estrogen and the going through ovulation. We don't want the messengers to tell our body that, so we'll inhibit this via the human chorionic gonadotropin ultimately, and the placenta.